Hello and welcome back to Warcraft Daily for today, the 8th of May 2014. And in today's show, we have a lot of news actually. We've got patch 5.4.8, some patch 6.0 changes, some stuff about heroic scenarios and stuff like that in Warlords of Draenor, and then finally, a little bit of a talk about Blizzard's latest earnings call. Oh, Activision Blizzard's latest earnings call. Anyway, the first thing in the news is patch 5.4.8. This hit the PTR yesterday, and there's no content, but it's going to be a fantastic patch, and here's why. First of all, there is a buff, a spell that was found called Heart of the Valorous. It says you earn 100% additional Valor points. So that's quite nice. That's a lot more Valor when you get down to it, and we're at that stage of the game where people are going to be trying out alts, trying out new characters and things like that, and I think that just allowing people to earn these points faster is definitely a good thing. I wouldn't mind the cap going up to 1500 for Valor, but maybe that's just me. Like, really, the way Valor is these days, it's not the sort of thing that you need to cap every single week to be absolutely ideal, because the people who care about Valor will already have all their item upgrades for all their heroic gear, and that'll be that. I guess it's just a symptom of the cheap item upgrades, the lack of Shadowpan gear, and the fact that everyone went into patch 5.4 with 3000 honor or Valor banked up, so really, my main character never dipped below 1000, oddly enough, and everything was just instantly upgraded. Anyway, more Valor, that's a nice thing for your alts. But more importantly, there is a buff called Gaze of the Black Prince. This will increase your reputation gains with him by 100%. That's definitely very nice. There are some times where you just have to grind out some rep. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, though there is a spot in the Timeless Isles where there's a whole bunch of Mogu statues attacking some NPCs. That actually gives you a crap ton of the XP anyway. Still though, that's very nice to get that 100% boost. They've also increased the chances of foes giving you Secrets of the Empire, Sigils of Wisdom, Sigils of Power, or Sigils, whatever, or Titan Runestones. That's been increased. They haven't said exactly how much. I would hope that it's around 100%. Hell, I would like it to be guaranteed with every boss. But yeah, that's definitely nice. And with all these changes, I think you'll probably be able to get your Legendary Cloak within, well, because of the 3000 Valor point step, 3 weeks is probably going to be your minimum cap. Maybe a month to get the cloak in a new character, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. Okay, it's made a little bit easier by the buff, but that Valor point quest, in my opinion, should just be removed to open up the gates, because there is no fun in having to farm 3000 Valor. That's just boring. It's not interesting. So, yeah, a little bit of a pity that that's still there, but these are changes in the right direction. And yeah, hey, look, it will at least sort of solve the RNG problems that were going on. I think the worst offender for me personally was, I think it was the Titan Runestones. They were the ones that you got after the Secrets of the Empire. Damn, they just did not drop for me whatsoever. It was sort of silly, actually. So, yeah, definitely a nice thing that that's fixed. Alright, next we have some changes for patch 6.0. First of all, when 6.0 drops, they're going to be tweaking up Siege of Orgrimmar by essentially adding the Warlords of Draenor raid system. So, instead of having flexible, normal, and heroic, we will have normal, heroic, and mythic, with normal and heroic being from, I think, 1 to 25 players, though the Warlords of Draenor normal and heroic raids will actually be from 10 to 30. So I think it's 10 to 25 for Siege, because I don't know, maybe it's 10 to 30, I'm not 100% sure. But they're being flexibled up, you're getting all your new difficulty modes and all that stuff done, which is pretty nice. And then Mythic is of course being added, so that'll be a bit of a change up for the heroic raiders. They'll have to get used to this 20-player roster. That'll be a big change, but I think it'll probably be for the best in terms of how it will facilitate really interesting encounter design on the highest level. Alright, next they're going to tweak up all the achievements, so essentially you'll have the same achievements now as you do then, even with all the names and things like that changing. However, there is going to be one alteration. The Ahead of the Curve and Cutting Edge achievements will no longer be obtainable, which means that the Kor'kron Warwolf will be gone from the game. So if you want that wolf, you need to go in and kill Garrosh on, I believe, normal, so go do that. Alright, next, when 5.4. No, sorry, when 6.0 drops, the Garrosh heirlooms will get a 100% drop rate on your first attempt for a bit of loot spec specific gear. And then they've also increased the chances of getting additional heirlooms just, for subsequent kills. I think that's great. There's maybe instances where people could have got RNG screwed over and just been completely out of getting an heirloom. And not everyone is going to kill Garrosh on normal every week. Maybe you're only going to kill it 2 or 3 times before the end of the expansion. I think it's completely okay that you get that heirloom during that period of time, because at the end of the day, it'll be a nice little thing going into Warlords. So that's pretty cool. Alright, then next, he said, or not he, Blizzard, the entity of Blizzard, said that when Warlords of Draenor releases, the heirloom weapons from Garrosh will no longer drop, and they're going to be changing the drop rate of the Kor'kron Juggernaut mount, so it's not going to be 100% anymore. It will actually become a rare, just like Invincible and Mimron's Head. That will probably, I'd say, put the drop rate down to about 1.25%, 1.5%, something like that. So it'll certainly be a very rare mount. It'll be hard to get. But yeah, that's the right change. Let people just have the Kor'kron Juggernaut as the really high-end raid mount for now. But maybe in 1 or 2 expansions time, by making that one of those rare mounts, they're going to provide gameplay for mount hunters and things like that. I think that's a good way to do it, and at least that period of exclusivity for the people who are capable of raiding will, I think that's a nice way to do it. I think that's good. Alright, next, Watcher posted a picture of Heroic Raid, well, not Heroic Raid, sorry, Heroic Scenario, Normal Scenario, and LFR Storytellers. These guys were sitting in, I think, the Seat of Knowledge, that big place in the middle of the Vale, and yeah, what they basically will allow you to do is you can queue up, when Warlords drops, you'll be able to queue up for a scenario, or a Heroic Scenario, or an LFR, and that will give you access to all the old LFR recolors. So you could do Dragon Souls, get the Dragon Souls color. Maybe if you wanted to do maybe, I don't know, Mogushan Vaults or something on LFR, you could to get that armor. I think that's really damn nice, actually. So well done, Blizzard. You did a good choice. And look, it'll just allow more gameplay for people when Warlords comes out. I'm sure that, well, while as a hunter, I pretty much despised every set they gave us this expansion, I'm sure there's someone that likes what they got at some point during Pandaria, so maybe you'll want to go back and get that. And maybe, for example, that warrior Deathwing plate that people seem to like a lot. So that's definitely a nice change. I'm not particularly sure why one would really want to go back and do the heroic scenarios or normal scenarios. Maybe they will still count towards achievements, and I think perhaps also just for seeing the story that happens in them. But other than that, I can't see too much of a reason. And in terms of rewards, I have no idea what you'll get afterwards, but I'll assume that for the raids, it'll just be the regular personal loot drops that we get today in LFR. Okay, so finally we have a quarter? No, quarter is not a word. The Q1 earnings call for Activision Blizzard, and here's the relevant information. So World of Warcraft is down 200,000 subs to 7.6 million. That's actually a very impressive number, in my opinion, because really nothing's happened since September, yet they've only dropped 200k. That's a little bit crazy, and I don't get that. I suppose with the level 90 boost, a lot of people have kind of got involved with that, and maybe the way that Siege Orgrimmar has panned out with its difficulty curve means that there's a lot of smooth progression throughout the raid instance. That's definitely something that we've seen, and maybe that's just helping keep people into the game. And then, of course, with PvP Season 15 being added, that allowed just some new replayability for the PvP population. Alright, so there's that. Now there were 1 million pre-orders for the Warlords of Draenor, like it's pre-order thingy. That, of course, came with the level 90 boost, which means that there are 1 million new level 90s in the game, or at least the potential for that. I think that playing those new level 90s is probably one of the reasons why there are still quite a few people playing World of Warcraft. So that's pretty cool. Alright, next let's just move on to a few of the other stats that came out from the earnings call. Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls sold 2.7 million copies, making it the top-selling PC game of 2014, according to NPD and the GFK chart track. Yeah, there are things. Though, I don't know, that like, those sources are fine, but NPD is kind of useless when digital distribution is so big and Valve don't give sales numbers and things like that. And well, I guess Blizzard have their own internal sales numbers, which they are giving out now, I suppose. So yeah, whatever. That's pretty cool to hear. Reaper of Souls was definitely the expansion that Diablo 3 needed. It made the game a lot better, in my opinion. I'm still, like, I enjoy the end game of it, but other than constantly running bounties and that kind of thing, I'm not 100% sure if it has an extreme amount of longevity, but it certainly has a lot more longevity than the base game did. And then, of course, Loot 2.0 just fixed loot, which was quite a nice thing for them to do. In terms of other things, they talked a little bit about Heroes of the Storm, and just said that it's a thing. Of course, Heroes of the Storm is, well, honestly, I think they kind of flunked the launch of it. No one gives a crap at the minute. When you look at Twitch.tv, there's maybe 100 people watching Heroes of the Storm, maybe 200. And the reason for that's because they released this technical alpha. All the big YouTubers and streamers got all over it. But then there was no one else to play with. It was just a small pool of players. No one else could, in terms of the wider population, could get in. And then people just went back to watching or playing their MOBA of choice. I know personally I've been playing a lot of Smite. And yeah, I think that they should have been letting people in earlier. The reason why I'd say that actually League of Legends and Dota, maybe Smite less so, but I think they are not fun games to watch. There's lots of farming, lots of stuff like that. But do you know why people find enjoyment in watching them? Because they already play the game and they can appreciate what's going on. That's why people need to be allowed to play Heroes of the Storm, so that we can actually just have a larger viewer base and that kind of thing for the game. Then finally, in terms of Hearthstone, they said, you know, newly launched on tablets, etc., and that they have over 10 million players registered. Though I don't know if that includes the new registers from the iOS version, which I know was wildly successful. Still though, 10 million registered is quite a lot. Of course, I'm sure the World of Warcraft cross-promotion definitely helped with that. But would that make it one of the most played card games? I think it's definitely the most played, online card game. And I have no idea what kind of numbers Magic the Gathering, Jewels of the Planewalkers pulls in. But I'm guessing it's not 10 million. Still, cool stuff. Anyway, that is it for today's show. I'm not too sure what today's second video will be, or if it will exist or not. Today's the first day after we finished the university work. I slept from 5 PM to 11 PM, and then stayed up to 7 AM, then slept again to 1 PM, so my circadian rhythm doesn't really know what's going on. Feeling a bit groggy. I've got to go in and actually submit the damn coursework. Well, about 2 minutes after I finish this video. So yeah, just keep your eyes on the channel. We'll get back to normal as soon as possible. And thanks for tolerating with the last few days of shitty content. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.